All right, hello everyone. So today I'm going to do a quick setup video. I've had quite a few people ask me if I will show them how I did my setup, or how the setup goes. And so I'm going to show you some examples of what it looks like when it's set up and how that process goes. But before that, I just wanted to show you, I actually redid the paint on the Boma. After my last video, I wasn't really pleased with how the paint came out, and you know, like a lot of people, I'm not super concerned with aesthetics, but I did want it to look nice. And so I decided to go with the camouflage pattern. So I'm going to show you that. I'm also going to show you a couple of small modifications that I had to make to the trailer to correct a few little things that were issues for me, some of which I've mentioned before, a couple new things that are new and different, but nothing serious or nothing major, but just some examples of little errors or changes, I should say, that I've made to the trailer so that little things are a little bit more functional and a little easier to use, and there's minor errors that have been dealt with. So let me just show you what the new paint job looks like, and I'll show you, kind of describe how I did it. Did it myself, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So let's have a look at it. All right, so you can see here is the new paint job. I've just unhooked from my vehicle, and in a moment I'm going to go ahead and do a setup. And I wanted to show the whole process, just show you how easy it is to level the trailer with the leveling jacks. It's really quite simple, grows pretty quickly, so I'm going to illustrate that as well. But I did want to show you the paint job. So what I did was I got some camouflage paint, and I left the stickers on, and then I painted over the stickers, and then I pulled the stickers off, and so that left the text in relief. So I really think it turned out pretty good. You can see basically I just used plants from my yard, and I just kind of held them up in front of the paint and sprayed the camouflage paint. I actually started out with a base layer of paint, so I just sprayed the paint in different colors using the camouflage paint, and I just kind of sprayed random colors to get a base layer down of a variety of different random colors. And then I just took plants and things growing in my yard, like I had a little bit of rosemary there. You can see the little rosemary leaves that I took, and I had some other plants here that I just sprayed, some branches and things like that. Just took plants from my yard and sprayed over them with the paint. Here's the different types of paint I used. I'm colorblind, so I just grabbed every variety of this Krylon camouflage paint that they had in terms of the different colors, as well as this Rust-Oleum camouflage. So I just did a bunch of different colors, and as you can see, it turned out pretty good. I'm really pleased with how it looks and how the relief looks on the stickers. And so now if I do get scratches from using this on the trail, then everything will be quite easy to touch up and paint. I'll just grab that camouflage paint and paint over the scratches, and it'll be nice going forward. As you can see here, the Velcro here, when I was traveling on the freeways, like at freeway speeds, high speeds, this Velcro would start coming loose. So what I did was I got these, rubber straps that hook down here on the step here where you get up to unhook the trailer, the rooftop. So I just added a couple of those just to hold the Velcro in place. And as you can see, it looks fine. And I think it looks better than I think I had a bright either yellow or green on there before. So it looks a lot better with the with this color instead. So hopefully that is, I think it looks quite a bit better than it did before. So hope you like how that turned out as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick setup on the trailer and show you how everything sets up and what the setup process is all like. So I'm gonna set up my camera on a tripod, and then I will do that. And then I'll show you a couple other things I did, especially with the sink. It turns out the sink was a little fiddly getting that set up. That's the one thing about the whole trailer setup that I thought was a little bit uncomfortable to do, or didn't quite work out as well as I liked. So I did make some modifications to the sink, and I'll show you those. Real simple modification, and then we'll show you that as well. All right, now it's a little warm out here, so I got my shades and my hat on. I've been taking the camper out for camping trips quite a bit, but when I'm on camping trips, I don't tend to want a video and take up time that I'm trying to enjoy with my friends or my partner, or my kids. So I tend to just enjoy the camping trip and not bother to videotape things or record things. I guess I'm old school, so I think in terms of videotape. So I don't really do that typically. So I had to set aside a little bit of time if I was going to do this to just have a day where I've got nothing going on and come up into a little cooler weather out of the desert where I live and do a quick setup video. So I'm trying to protect myself from the sun. That's why I got the shades on and the hat. But I'm just going to quickly let you know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to actually I'm going to do two setups really. One is going to be the typical like quick setup. So if I'm setting up for one night and we're not doing the awnings, that setup is obviously a lot quicker. So sometimes when we're doing overland trips and we're going to be doing, a setup and then we move on, setup and then move on, there's no reason to open up the awnings and go through that additional setup process. So I'm going to do one setup that way just to show you what that looks like and the speed at which you can get it set up for your basic camp without all the awnings. And then I'm going to close up the awnings, and then I'll just show you how close up the camper, and I'll just show you how the awnings are set up. And then that'll give you an idea. If you're doing more of a full setup, you would do the awnings first and then the camper setup. So I'm not going to do a whole nother camper setup with the awnings. You can sort of get the idea, right? Once you've seen the camper setup and then the awning setup, add them together and you got yourself a full setup. There is an annex room, and that annex room requires two people to handle. So unfortunately, I don't have anybody here with me today, so I'm not going to be able to do that. It's pretty awesome. I've set it up a couple times and it looks pretty cool. We're up here on Santa Rosa Mountain, so there's a group of motorcyclists heading by us today. So I just found a spot that's a little cool to do this quick video. So I won't be able to do the annex room. Maybe I'll try to do that for another video when I've got somebody with me and I've got the camper all set up and we get the annex room going as well. But all right, so I'm going to set up the camera and do my little setup videos, and hopefully you'll find this to be helpful and give you an idea of what it's like to set up the Boma in real world situations. All right, so as part of this setup, I'm actually going to do the leveling part too, only because the leveling jacks on this unit are so great, because you don't have to worry about leveling blocks and all that stuff. The jacks will actually lift the entire trailer. You can even lift the trailer high enough to change a tire if you want. They're that strong. So so I thought it'd be useful to see the leveling process. It's very, very quick as part of the whole setup. So you can add that to your total setup time. I'm not sure exactly how long this basic setup will take, but I'm predicting it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 or 6 minutes. So let's give it a shot. All right, so that is the basic setup. Now all we have to do now is make the beds, and you've got yourself a ready-made setup for the night. I'll show you a couple little details that you can add with the setup if you're curious. One is there's a little rain fly here. So if you're expecting rain, you can pull this out. And that gives you this additional protection from a little bit of rain. Okay, so that's the little rain fly setup, and that's a pretty complete setup for a quick overnight. So I don't know how long that took me, but I would guess, including leveling the trailer out, I would guess it took me, maybe 5 or 6 minutes to do. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is just put everything away. So I was going to do that. I was going to do that off camera, but I realized I probably should just do that on camera as well, so you can see what the takedown process looks like. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. it. So again, I'm not sure exactly how long that took me, but oh, I forgot to close the There it is. So set up and breakdown, I think, are pretty quick. I'm not sure exactly how long it took me, but I'm guessing it was in the neighborhood of 5-6 minutes up and 5-6 minutes down for the most basic setup. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open up the awnings and show you what the awnings look like and what that process looks like. And then, you know, if you're doing the setup with the awnings and then what I just did, then you just add those two times together and you got your full setup. So let me just demonstrate how the awnings work. They got these little, I call them awning condoms on the front there, just to protect the front if you're going through brush, trees, anything like that. So you know, I'll take those off and show you how the awnings get set up. So I was packing up in a little bit of hurry last time. I unpacked it and I forgot to undo my line, so that took a little longer than normally would. But I just want to show you, you can set up one awning at a time. So I'm just going to demonstrate that real quick and show you what that looks like. So if you're doing one awning at a time, you can grab the awning like this, hook it here, and there are these hooks here that allow you to get your ratchet strap here. Again, I didn't do a very good job putting my stuff away last time. All right, so that's one side. Now, normally if I was setting up at a real campsite, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, I would put that last pole down to the ground, and you do have to kind of strap that one down so that it holds itself in place. So I would have these straps in place, but for a quick, you know, demonstration setup, or if you're doing like an on-the-fly awning setup, you can just wedge it up here and that will hold it in place just fine if you don't want to worry about, you know, tacking it all down and stabilizing it. But that just to show you, you could do one side of the awning if you like, or you can do both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do both sides now. I'm going to do the other awning as well. that is the 360-degree awning setup. So I've got it set up now on both sides. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what the setup is like. Obviously it takes a little longer when you're doing the awnings, but you do get this beautiful wide open space here for plenty of shade. Of course, I'm on kind of an uneven ground. I just picked a spot to do this really quickly. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how the whole setup process goes and what it looks like. You can imagine then if you did the normal setup inside there and did the sides out and all that, that you'd end up with a pretty nice setup and happening, I think, pretty quickly. Really, I think the awnings probably take 5 minutes to set up. The awnings, I'm guessing, something like that. So if you're doing the awnings plus the trailer, you're probably talking about 10 minutes total. So all right, so you can see I've got the awning almost ready to go, but I thought I would show you one more thing. So I did a better job of wrapping up my ropes this time, and I got the things up. But I just want to show you that I do use a little stool here for the pack away for the awnings, and you'll see why. That's the one part of the setup and take down that a little stool is kind of helpful for. So I'll just show you how this works and why that stool is helpful. So here we go. I'm just going to put it away. It's pretty easy. All right, and that's it. So it's one of the things Bushwakka is kind of known for, is they give you plenty of room in the bag, so it packs up pretty easily. You don't have to worry about stuffing things in. But that little step stool helps you get up there and see where the little straps are. Sometimes they get caught up in there a little bit. So that's how we put them away. Wore me out a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the little changes I made to the sink. So when it's originally comes from the factory, it's designed to have these poles. There's actually two of them hook into the trailer here. There's one here and one that goes on the very end of the dish rack, okay? Now the problem with that is that when you put too much weight here in the dish rack, it tends to want to pull the whole unit off to the side, and it was coming loose from the little track here. And once it actually collapsed, and so I was a little frustrated by that. But then what I did was, I took one of the poles and I just ran it straight down to the ground, as you can see. And I just took a little piece of plastic here, and they give you lots of these little, these little pieces that come with the trailer. So if anything breaks or you lose anything, you have plenty of extra components that you can put things back together. And by just attaching a little base here and running it to the ground, now it's totally stable. I mean, you know, you can push down, it's totally stable. It feels like I'm pushing pretty hard, but it's not going anywhere. I can put plenty of dishes up in here. We can fill these up with water. You got your hot water on demand. And that just made it more stable and frankly, quite a lot faster to set up. Really, you only have to put one of these poles in the side and then just extend that down to the ground, and you just have a much faster setup, much more stable setup. And ever since I've been doing it like this, it's just a much better setup, much easier, quicker to set up, and still plenty stable. And as I said, this looks a little bit flimsy, but it's just because I'm pushing down with quite a bit of force on the end. When you get this loaded up with dishes, it's not going anywhere. You know, I'm pushing pretty hard and it's not going anywhere. So that's the one little change I made, in addition to adding those little straps to the front. But other than that, this trailer has been pretty much flawless. That's the one little thing I would change. So Bushwakka, if you're listening, you know, just put a little footing on the bottom of one of these poles and make it so you can extend it straight down. It's just a more stable, faster, easier setup. And that's all I've had to do really to modify this trailer to make it really, really perfect. All right, so that's a little video just showing the setup and breakdown process. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how long it takes to set up. It's, I think, really quick and easy. Hopefully you dug it. So it's a little warm, so I'm breaking a little sweat. It's about 95 degrees here, even up at elevation where I normally live. It's been like 108, 110, so pretty warm. But hopefully you enjoyed my little setup video, and we'll post another video soon. I'll try to shoot some more videos when we're actually out camping, but as I've said, I haven't done a lot of videos when I've been camping, just mostly just enjoying camping. All right, see you next time.